That's our new intro.
Yeah, we got a new intro. I'm trying out some new software. I think we are live. We should see comments pop up here. Trying something fancy. So I believe we are live. I'm going to double check on the Facebook.
Dude, I felt like we were at a techno club right now, bro. I was ready.
Yes.
Dude,
yes,
I hit some glow sticks.
So welcome to the 195th episode of Guerrilla Radio. So I think you should be able to see the comments somewhere. I don't know where they are, but
it's on the right on mine. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll comment on and see if we get one come up.
Okay. And I can even highlight them now. So yeah, this is fancy. We're going to test this out to see if we can see how the brackets look. So when we go over brackets for next week, I guess the next week's semi-state.
Oh yeah, there we go. And I get it on the other side too. Now I'm going to be real off today. I'm not going to be able to watch any of this show.
Yeah, it's go good.
This is going to be a 6-hour show right now.
Of you just reading the comments. Oh, great. Okay, we're going back the other way.
Yeah. Long-time listener, first-time caller, go ahead and go.
Yes. So, yeah, we are going to – I can actually reply to comments here too, so that's actually kind of nice. So we're going to see how this works. Paid for it for a month and seeing if it's going to work. And if it works, it does well with showing brackets and other things, we are going to maybe try it for another month.
All right. I won't
pay for it, right? Because we're going to be off the air. Make it 10. So make it 10 what? Comments? I don't know. So anyway, sectional happened last week. Got all the rankings out in short time. I know I was watching you update things and okay.
It was nerve wracking. I seen you falling along. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh heck. I was turning it all around. Because man, there was some stuff and you're trying to figure out wins and losses and so yeah. 10 hours. Dude, I could make this 10 hours. Let's go drag this thing out.
We've done the 3 hour plus ones and it's oh man. So yeah, we the rankings, quick turnaround when you get all the brackets and get all the rosters, make sure everyone's in the right weight classes, and then make sure no one's sneaking through the cracks at 35-0 and whoa, who's this kid? So a lot of quick work, but luckily thank you to the people that did get us brackets on Thursday. Did help iron out some things and give us a little bit of a head start. And as a heads up, if you have any spelling names or spelling issues or anything, grade issues on profiles, please tell me. Because I noticed, I think a couple of them are spelled incorrectly. A couple are not. I know that they are not spelled incorrectly.
One of the
IndianaMat.
You guys want to pull back the screen, pull back the curtain a little bit. I just throw names in the spreadsheet, and Joe has to go through and double check the spelling, and I give names and all kinds of nonsense. So if your kid's name spelled wrong, it's probably me.
Mike did not win any spelling bees at Calumet High School
or Batavia Middle School, anywhere. I didn't want to spell a bee my whole life. I was first out.
First out. Spell cat
with a K or what? So if your kid's name spelled wrong, that's probably on me.
I usually try to check to make sure. Well, I have to usually search for their grade, so I'll double check. But yeah, that's and
I don't add grades, and sometimes I have the wrong schools, and so that happens.
Yeah. So
thanks, Eric, and I am winning life right now. I feel like it.
Yeah. Yep. You got Super Bowl squares. You get them all sold.
I'm down to a couple, but Eric bought 2 from me. That's my dude. Shout out to my guy that's going to give him another, another spot on the state show. Give him a couple minutes on the mic.
Yeah, we got to start. We got some ideas of to possibly have a Friday night show, so we might have to kind of explore that. I was thinking about that the other day because this week's going to be kind of busy, or a little less busy, I guess. So I can probably maybe start seeing if we can have one. We had a couple ideas from some people, so after the round, because it gets over 8-ish.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that. It feels like it's a long day, but now that they have the split session, it's not as bad. Yeah, dude. Thanks, man. So this is gonna get me all messed up, Jason. Hey, bro, I got you. My daughter did sign her commitment letter on Tuesday. It was a pretty big showing. It was pretty exciting.
Do I need to hide this from?
Maybe.
There.
No, it's still on there. I get the. So I think that was pretty cool. We had probably about 40 people came out.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool. It was, a lot of our teammates travel in high school, family, old coaches. So it was really cool.
Nice.
So she's winning in life. I think sometimes being a good athlete is pretty good, but sometimes I think she's a really good person, and I think like her teammates like her, which is pretty good.
Yeah. So we will. I'll start working on that tomorrow. See if we can find a venue. I think we got a hint on a couple places that are within walking distance of the venue, so we can go there, and I think it actually might be close to our hotel too. So I like that idea. So I have to run gear and stuff around.
So. It was a really cool show last year, and I think if we can get it that Friday night, right after obviously some people are going to be out doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
But it'd be cool because I think that was like an awesome to get everybody in there. I got a recommendation from one of the fans to have it at Tiki Bobby Joe's. That's an insider joke. Bobby Joe, Tiki Bob's downtown. Bobby Joe loves him some Tiki Bobby Joe's. You can ask Cameron Sackon. One time we lost him there and it was negative degrees. And somehow Hector Mendez found him wandering the streets of Indianapolis.
Nice. And saved his life.
He didn't have a jacket.
Yes. Yeah.
Hector literally came up and said, "Hey, this guy said he knows you." And I swear he got into a taxi or someone's random car. So I'm happy he's alive.
Yeah, yes. We are all help. He helped with getting all the rosters in. Got them all into the spreadsheet and everything with about 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive. So good stuff. So yeah, sectional, got the rankings out.
Man, Dinger, Tiki Bobby Joe's is closed now. I bet, bro. The place had sticky floors. You go in there, man. Don't wear nice shoes.
Don't wear. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun episode. Yeah, we got the rankings out.
Yeah,
nothing. We already had all the top four, so you couldn't really change those.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of talked about it. And I had to think about it like halfway through. I was like, oh, man, did I change any of the top four? Because I told him I wasn't going to do that. We ended up having some guys pull out.
Yes. Late. And we did update the rankings. We have up until the first whistle. That is our rule. And now the rankings are locked. They will not change. I'll get out some updated power polls. I don't think much will change. And I know some people will be upset, especially Yorktown people, because Yorktown beat Delta, but Delta still has their hammers.
Man, huge win for Yorktown, too. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid upset. Obviously, sectional is a little bit more condensed when you're having all 14 guys there. Regional is going to get a little bit tougher because you're going to start losing more guys, especially that first round. So that should be a good regional, I think, for team-wise. See who comes out on top. I haven't dissected the brackets yet, but you have 3 or 4 teams that are really good, and it's going to take teams with a lot of those guys that make it through. So, I mean, I could see Adams Central, Belmont, Yorktown, Delta, Jay County they're all in contention there.
Yeah, I mean, those are always like pretty. I mean, you always have the top teams, but those are always pretty highly contested. Regionals. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Biggest upsets. What were the biggest upsets you saw this?
Well, we only had one number 1 go down, which I mean that's usually an upset. I mean, he didn't get put out of the bracket, but I think he was the only one in the top 4 to lose, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cameron Hazlett over Lucas Szymborski at Crown Point. I was kind of watching online, and then I stepped away for a little bit, and our on-site representative Eric Thomas said, "Well, that's a crazy upset," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, I thought he was talking about Teague, and I was like, "Dude, Teague's he was the number one seed, and he's ranked higher than everyone in the sectional. Like, how is that an upset?" I was about to talk trash, and then I started looking at the results. I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." I think early on, and I mean, you rank a freshman pretty high. I think he's been, top 6 or 7 the entire year. And some people are giving us a hard time. And obviously, you have the stat where no one higher than 130 pounds has won a state title as a freshman since Blake Maurer in 2001.
Mauer's the last one at 130, but before that, it was like 1940.
Still Ritter.
Yeah.
So he's really talented, man. He's really talented. I didn't think that he wrestled, and I didn't go back and watch the match, but I don't think that Hazlett wrestled as well as I thought he could have at Al Smith. He looked a little timid, and it sounded like this one was a little bit closer. And then, if it's close, anything can happen, especially at the bigger guys.
Yeah, that was a big win, and obviously they're gonna run it back this week most likely. Who else is?
Oh yeah,
there was another one. Yeah, heavyweight had lots of craziness.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are gonna have tough draws. Or I mean, obviously there's gonna be a tough draw at the regional over there, but is that the Carroll Regional? Is that who hosts the Carroll? At the Carroll Regional, there's a tough draw at heavyweight first round, but East Chicago is pretty good at heavyweight across the board, and I think you're gonna have the runner-up out of Crown Point coming out, which would be pretty tough, whether it's going to be Hazlett or Szymborski. And you'll have the runner-up of coming out of there's another top 4. I mean, Bartosiak is top 4 too. But you'll have another one coming out over there. So, like, you'll have Declan Gard and Cam Kaufman. Runner-up there is going to hit somebody that's pretty good. So, Luke Juris beat Tristan Machende. So, a lot of craziness at East Chicago at the heavyweights.
Austin, pretty good, and it's pretty even in East Chicago, and it is kind of separated a little bit because each regional, the 3 main regionals.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. I mean, I understand that I want some tacos off somebody before by doing these bets, but don't say that.
Yeah. Well, the 3 tougher regionals, they all have 2 pretty solid heavyweights, so the draws are going to be fun. I don't know when I'm getting them, if we'll get them, when we'll get them, how we'll get them.
We'll find out. That Austin Reedy match was really good too. Big win over Bartosiak. I think he ended up attacking him. Tough. I mean, it's a tough time. I mean, we kind of hit on a little bit last week with him losing his mom right before DAC, and I know that's pretty tough. Like, anytime you have a loss in the family, it's tough, especially. So him going out there and wrestling at a high level. So,
yeah, there's I'm pulling some of the results. Moses Stevenson over Bryce Doss, 5/3. Dude, the Jennings County sectional was.
Oh yeah,
they had some weight classes that were just ridiculous.
Dude, shout out to Little B, huh? I mean, we're kind of watching that, and then Dustin sent us the video before he went to the Royal Rumble. I thought he was going to be the number 30th entrant. I was kind of disappointed. The IndianaMat intro didn't hit. That's why we had to change it.
Yes. Yeah, that was a nuts. I'm bringing up the bracket because there's a couple brackets there that had some craziness in there. Let's see, Jennings, because you had 144 was just loaded.
Yeah, have a day, Keegan Joaquim, right?
He had a heck of a day. Come in as a 6 seed, ends up winning it. Went away with Caleb Cooper, Gabe Rose, and Cohen Long and Lane Kirshner, who are all state ranked.
Yeah, and then he went in there and took care of business. Sounded like he was he was just on, man, hitting some big moves, putting people on their backs, putting them away. I mean, we know that Coach Tante is, he can coach in the tournament. He always gets guys through.
Yeah, and that's huge for them to get that. That helped them win a regional or a sectional title. And then Cooper and Kirshner, the 1 and 2 seeds, both didn't qualify.
Yeah, Little B with a headlock at the end to go up and win. That's a pretty crazy result there.
Yeah, so he was 1-1 with Cooper. So yeah, that's a huge win, and that's one of the tougher regionals I've seen. And then the 138, Peyton Richards over Justice Thornton. Thornton beat Bo Jackson in the semis. And then you had Caleb Kirkpatrick on the other side of that bracket. So
yeah, that's a pretty tough 4 coming out.
Yeah. So yeah, Jennings County is kind of a sneaky good sectional.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those guys have put in the work. Obviously, we know Columbus East and Madison's getting a lot better. You see a lot of their results, and Switzerland County's got a lot better the last couple of years.
Yeah, Franklin,
Columbus North.
Yeah. Columbus North has some solid kids. Franklin's a pretty solid team.
Yeah,
but just chock full of just solid teams, top to bottom. Teams with solid kids. The top 6 teams all have. Indian Creek has a real good team.
And I'm sure some of those guys were happy to get, because Franklin used to be at Mooresville, right? I'm sure they're happy not to be at Mooresville.
Didn't get much easier though. So.
No, that's a tough. Well, who feeds into that sectional?
It's Jeffersonville.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, definitely tough sectional.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a good one.
The top 7 there are pretty good. I mean, I'm not as familiar with Seymour, Salem, West Washington, Southwestern, Scottsburg, or Easton Pekin.
The Musketeers.
Yeah. So kind of foreshadowing what we're ranking tonight.
Yeah. Yes. Did a little research, and I did not know they're the Musketeers.
Yep. I thought we were gonna satellite in Carl Hungus.
Yes. They had 5 Musketeers this year, so they have expanded from 3.
They only have 5 kids on their team.
Yeah, They scored 0 points actually at sectional.
Sometimes whenever I haven't seen a team before and they get a guy that stay 5, like guess what color their singlets are going to be.
Yes.
Sometimes
that's another one.
Honestly,
I have it on the idea list of ranking singlets. What do you think?
Man, it'd be tough.
You might have to do that like after state.
Yeah.
Maybe state singlets. So I'd only narrow it down, and you can get some. Make sure we get some pictures. I know which one what my number 1 is, but I'm very biased.
The gold cathedral singlet.
No, that's one of my. That's definitely a top 5.
It's pretty good.
It's the Zubaz Carroll singlet.
Yeah, that's it. That's weak.
Come on. It's a cool singlet. No one else has them. So, what other sectionals do we want to talk about? Any craziness that goes on at any of the other ones? Really not very many. Nope, real close team races.
I mean, I think that the Carroll sectional ended up being, it wasn't super close. We thought it could be closer when Field ended up not being in the bracket. I mean, that's a lot of points, but they still ended up winning by 40. I thought Eastside had a pretty good day there. I mean, you were obviously there. Like you were in the building. Kissing babies.
DeKalb County took over. They're going to annex Allen County because they had Garrett had 6 champs and so did Eastside. Eastside went 6 for 6 in the finals, which is just ridiculous.
They're pretty good.
They had reversed a couple losses from earlier in the season, and some other kids beat some guys that they've never beaten in their careers, and just went out there and they had a really good final round. And kind of we always say it, but people don't they always try to hem haw like, oh, there's no momentum in wrestling. Yes, there, especially in tournaments, there can be momentum. Those kids were wrestling in their like.
I mean, not to, sorry, not to like, but like you see the last year on the other way with Crown Point. Like once the thing started going sideways, like it looked like everything was falling apart, right?
Yeah, and it can go both ways. If a kid gets upset that everyone always relies on winning, and it's like, oh no, what's going on? What are we? You start questioning yourself. And Eastside looked real good. I've launched an investigation into the McDonald's in Butler. Their secret sauce might have a little bit more, a secret in it. So we're gonna, and then obviously the Garrett Subway. That one's they're still getting back to me because they still have like 16 customers waiting to do their sandwiches. Might be the slowest Subway ever.
Man, you want to hear a funny Subway story?
Yeah, sure.
Man, when we were going to Tennessee this fall, we stopped at the Subway in Columbus, bro, right off of 65. So if you frequent this Columbus Subway, you probably have a good idea what's going to happen. So we go in there, and Kim really wanted Subway, and I'm not like a huge Subway fan, but I was like, all right, cool, we'll go. And dude, like she'd been talking about Subway for like an hour. I was like, we're not going to stop. So we ended up stopping to get gas. She's like, cool, there's a Subway right here. We go in, she gets cold cut trio or whatever. I think she gets cold cut trio or whatever. It doesn't matter. And she's like, I'm going to get a foot long. I'm like, cool. And there's only like 2 people working there. It's super slow. And this dude's like, you want mayonnaise and mustard? She's like, yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, he put like a whole bottle of mayonnaise and mustard on the sandwich. And like, it was like so much. I looked over and she was like shocked. She didn't even say anything. And I was like, man, that's a lot of mustard and mayonnaise. And he was like, cool, good. And she's like, I guess. And he like wraps it up. And it's like oozing out mayonnaise. And I'm like, he's like, what about you? I was like, can we go light mayonnaise on that? She did not eat that sandwich. She was, bro, Keith Murphy, dude, I'm telling you, I wish I would have did this show before so I'd have known. We would have never ate Subway there. Dude, so if you go there, and this is a little tip, if you're in Columbus and you're right by 65, ask for light mayonnaise because they go heavy.
Man, life tips we give on this show. And we have a travel tournament there this summer, so I'm definitely going to, if we go that Subway, I'm going to tell everyone light mayo.
Dude, it was bad. It was so bad. I got her a spoon and she's like, I can't even eat this. Like, dude, I was in a tornado there one time. There was a tornado. One of the first years we did travel, they made us like go into a hotel lobby.
Oh, nice.
Yep. We did a lot of drinking. That's what you're going to be in the travel life. That's what you do at tournaments. I found out I knew how to use chopsticks, but I never used chopsticks before. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So I guess state will be a good testing for my liver. I got to get it back into shape, I guess. Back to the college.
Columbus, Indiana. Yep. Dude. Columbus, Indiana, right there, right off of 65, Subway.
You think Ratliff takes his family out to eat?
Dude, we should.
Like 25
Ratliff, you're so right, man. I said the same exact thing. He said he should have went to Jimmy John's. I said, dude, it was right there. I said, let's go to Jimmy John's. She's like, I really want Subway. And you know, it's crazy because she doesn't even like Subway. We have a Subway right here in Lowell. We never eat it, ever.
Nice. So yeah, back to the yes. So the Garrett Subway is still working on my sandwiches from 1997. So so yeah, they but Garrett ended up winning. Eastside had a real good day. Carroll had a pretty solid day. Carroll's program's going in a good direction. A lot of young kids. Heavyweight was. This will kind of lead into my kind of semi-rant I want to go on today because I think we have to go on a rant, don't we?
I don't have any rants today, so we're ready, man. Are we gonna go at the end?
Though? I even have notes on this rant, but heavyweight was a little bit. I don't want to say it was misseeded because based on the criteria, the seeds fell right, but basically the 2 best kids were on the bottom half of the bracket. And we all know how it feeds into the other regional has 2 really good guys, 2 top 4 guys, not bad, and then another guy that's McGran. I don't know if he was in the final rankings. I know he was right on the cusp of them.
He was. I have it in front. I can pull it up.
But I know.
If Shannon Stanley's talking about the Lowell subway, I agree. I heard they had rats. No, I'm just joking. I never heard that.
No,
That's just Wrigley Field.
That's just Wrigley Field. Ouch. You like my hat? I gotta.
No, that's a terrible hat, honestly. Where did you get that at?
This is the kids club hat that I got at the Cubs convention. I thought I'd wear it tonight.
It looks like the hat that Marty McFly got when he went back to Into the Actual Future.
It's like a nylon. It is like the weirdest hat in the world. Just figured I'd wear it,
Yeah, Charles McGrant's number 25.
Okay, so Grant's number 25, and then Reynolds is just out that side the 25, and so is Lothamer, right? So
Dude, I'm sorry, cat grabbed my finger. It scared me. That scared me for I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Lothamer and Reynolds are just outside the top 25, right?
Yeah.
They're basically top 30, which you can make arguments for them all those guys. So you got 5 guys that are pretty good, and you had another kid that had the record. The day that he didn't wrestle, the day that they were at Carroll, Northrop was at Carroll, and Garrett was there also. Whatever it is, I don't, but he had a better record than the other two, and put those 2 guys on the same side. So you got first and third are basically the 2 best kids in the weight, and now one of them is going to have to draw into what would be the loser of a top 4 battle. So it's going to be. I mean, that semifinal match, everyone knew what was going down on that match. That was the championship match. And I think people focus too much on wrestlebacks at semi-state when it's really a random draw. And there's too many missed seedings at sectional that I think we really need to focus on trying to get our best kids to regional or to semi-state from regional. And it really is not that much of it's 56 more matches, which is not that many. It's 4 matches each per weight. And then it's about 1.5 to 2 hours extra being in the gym. And regionals are always pretty quick days. If you have 4 mats, it's probably at most an hour and a half. If you have 3 mats, it's about 2 hours max. But I think we focus too much on semi-state and not realizing that we're not getting our best kids there, and it would be much easier to implement at regional than it is semi-state, because semi-state day is a long day.
Man, yeah, we're past the actual wrestleback part of our state tournament, so
yes.
Now we're on to the non-wrestleback winner go home bracket part of the next 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, the tough guy part of our state series.
Are we ranting right now, or are we waiting to the exact? Dude, I have a theory on this, and it's an unpopular theory.
Go ahead. We're ranting on it, and I think I know where your theory is because you said it.
You did, and anytime I tell people this, they tell me I'm crazy. I think that we don't have wrestleback. We don't push wrestlebacks to the IHSAA because coaches that don't get their guys prepared are looking to sneak a guy through instead of the guys that are the best guys that are getting through. I think they like that they could sneak a guy through. And whether people can go on here and say, oh, that's not true. I would be willing to bet if we gave some people some truth serum, they'd be like, yeah, my guy didn't have a chance. We like that we can pull off an upset and get a guy through, or get a draw and get a guy through. And that's why we battle for those seeds at the sectional, so we can kind of find a way, weasel our way through. It's like, well, I'm fighting for my kid. Or take the same energy and train your kid.
Yeah, you're not. I've after you've brought that up and I've kind of thought about that, I don't think you're wrong. I think it also helps. It gives. I mean, if there were wrestlebacks, how many more Brownsburg, Crown Point, Center Grove, Cathedral, Warren Central? Let's just name the top 20 teams. How many more of those kids would go to state?
Yeah, I mean,
how many of those would replace? And I'm not going to name schools, but some of the smaller schools that aren't getting kids there. They're getting kids there once every 8 to 10 years.
But do you think that's not the right way? Okay, if that's the theory, then why? Then it should be classed.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'm not saying we have one class and that's fine. I'm sure if you ask whatever small, tiny school that hasn't had a state qualifier in the last 25 years, if they wanted a class tournament, I'm sure that they'd be like, yeah, like we have 0% chance against the Brownsburgs, the Crown Points, the Warren Centrals, the Cathedrals, the Center Groves. But like we look at it, like obviously I have zero vested interest in it because I'm just a guy that does rankings and my kids play softball. I don't have any kids that wrestle. I like having the single tournament. I like being, kind of unique in the country, but I think that we don't fight for wrestle. Like I really do feel like we don't fight for wrestlebacks because I don't think that I think coaches want to find a way to get a guy through instead of getting the best guys to state.
Yeah. And it gives them more. They want the single class system, but they know that their best way to get a kid to state is, let's put it bluntly, sneaking a kid to state based on a draw, knowing that you have a 1 in 3, hey, I got 1 in 3 chance of getting our good draw. And if I have 4 or 5 kids there, I have 4 or 5 chances if I have 6 kids there, I should get my 1 in 3 draw twice.
Yeah,
so I have 2 legitimate chances.
I think that defeats the purpose of what like the argument is, right? Like, oh, we want the best kids there. Like, no, we don't. That's not true.
Yeah,
obviously we like that they have that because we get a huge turnout for the semi-state shows. Semi-state shows might be our biggest show because people are like want to hear about the death draws, and it sucks. It's gonna suck for some kids that like probably belong there that worked their whole life or worked, the last however long they've been on. What do they always say? Like he's on a mission. However long he's been on this mission to get to state. It's gonna suck because there's gonna be guys that are really good that are not gonna get there. And I'm not saying that the guy that does get there is really good, but I'd be willing to bet if you said, "Cool, man, why don't you wrestle that guy for a ticket?" Then they'd be like, "Nah, man, that's not what we're gonna do."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, you're right on, and I think that's one reason
that's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, it's still that's why some coaches are. That's why there's actually when they put the votes out, and there's still it's not overwhelming. It is like a 60-40. It's
Bro,
not.
When you go to a wrestling tournament, you're going to be there all day. You just know it is like it's not like I'm going to add another 2 hours. It's an all-day event.
Yeah.
If you didn't pack a lunch, you better do some research and find out where you can go. Obviously, we're not going to Subway.
There aren't any sectional regionals in Columbus.
Dude, there's not I don't know where the closest Subway to East Chicago Central is at, but man, but I just really do think that's part of the reasoning of it, and I'm sure I'll get 100 texts. I won't get 100. I'll get 5 texts tomorrow telling me I'm wrong, and I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, it's not the top 10, 20 teams because those teams would be the ones that benefit the most from having wrestlebacks.
Oh yeah, like every year there's a kid that gets left in the. I think it's not even like the upset. Yeah, hold the mustard to mail for sure. It's not even the upset that's like they're like, well, you're taking away from the kid that won that match. It's not even that. It's the guy that's like you're getting 2 medalists for a ticket. I think that's I just think that's a dumb way to especially when the team points are scored off of that's how the team title's won now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we should try to get our best 16 there.
I agree.
Especially everybody that trashes the ranking. Man, I was just telling my brother this too. Side note to this whole rant. Like everyone tells me all year long about how the rankings don't mean anything until a ranked wrestler loses, and then they're the first ones to text me and tell me how the rankings mean. Like, do you even see that coming, right? Like, you just told me for 3 months that the rankings didn't mean anything. So why are you the first one to run the internet when the guy loses?
Nice.
Right? Hey.
Uh-oh.
That post, hey, if the number 1 wrestler gets put to the thing, right to the internet, the page is gonna melt down. Yeah, dude, that's ridiculous that those guys didn't get an opportunity to wrestle. Mike Morgan, the professor, dropping some knowledge.
Yes. Yeah, he's that's just off the top of his head.
Andrew Bradbury and Josh Burge at Maryville. You have the returning state champ and the runner-up that year in the ticket round. Like, you're telling me Josh Burge wasn't a top guy? Like, You wouldn't want Josh Bridge there. And like the IHSA should be looking at that. They should look into like seeding this thing because now you're selling it for subscriptions. You're selling the product. You want the best 28, 48 or 28 guys under the lights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing I still don't understand how I don't understand how they don't seed the football finals, football sectional, because you lose half your teams the first week, you lose the other half, so you got a quarter of the teams left. They don't have anything to do on a Friday night, and if two best teams in the sectional are battling it out, that's going to help. Number one, that's going to help the host school, whoever's hosting it. There's going to the principals and ADs are the ones that are technically running the IHSA. They should be like, hey, I want more money from this because we're going to get concessions, we're going to get gate, we're going to get, everything else that goes along with hosting an event like that. And there's going to be a lot more people because now we have the two best teams there. So
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of nonsense that goes on in that. I just think that back to your like original point, I think that like now that we're past the wrestleback part of our state system, I just think it's like it's such a like a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, and I think the regional ones would be easier to implement. I think they'd be good for it. It just like I know we saw that there was supposed to be a wrestler that was pretty good. I think they ended up seeding him, but
yeah,
coach didn't have enough weigh-ins, and which is as a new coach, it's a lot of stuff for coach. Trust me, it's a ton of stuff for coaches to manage weigh-ins. You got to get the green weigh-ins. They got to have one here. You got to make sure they have 6 of them. They got this and that. And the kid didn't have one of the weigh-ins that they needed. And they were told that they can't seed him. But I think the coaches said, no, we need to seed him or that's going to screw up the rest of the state tournament for other people. And because then he would get drawn in. That's going to screw up that number 2 seed, 1 or 2 seed. He'll wrestle, and he'd wrestle in the first or second round, in the first round. So then that you're basically going to have 2 pretty good kids, 1 and a 3. Maybe you might knock someone out that kind of should have gone to regional, and there's just a trickle down effect of now that second place finisher in the other sectional thinks, hey, I did pretty well. I made it to the finals. Oh wait, I got the second best kid in that sectional because he wasn't put in the bracket properly.
And I'm a meathead, bro. So like when I'm saying all that, like I'm also the first one that's like, oh, that's crazy upset. Look at this death draw. Let's go. Like, I'm also that guy too. So even though I'm calling for wrestlebacks, I'm also the first one that runs to the internet as soon as I see like the semi-state brackets I'm like a kid on Christmas.
Yes.
Like we should actually do like a live reveal. Like never let me see him, and then I'm like, oh wow, oh man, that's terrible.
We keep wanting to do that. We never know when we're gonna get them in. That would be fun. Just a live reveal.
A lot of forfeits in the sectional. Honestly, like there's a lot of kind of like I try to do all the sectional brackets to like feed into the regional when I'm doing the semi-state rankings, and there was a ton of forfeits.
Actually,
is there less forfeits?
Well, it's one of those weird things that the teams with like 3 or less kids, they don't have forfeits in the bracket. They just have buys. But it's pretty much similar to what last year was. Technically, if you add forfeits there's 5 or 6 teams with 3 or 4 or less kids. So that adds like 40 to 50 forfeits. There's 836 forfeits this year.
It must have been like 600 of them must have been in the East Chicago semi-state.
Yes, the East Chicago. Last year we had, if we don't add forfeits for those other teams, it's 767. 119 at 106 though. That means less than a third of the teams had, or less than 2/3 of the teams had a 106.
Do you think it's just steroids in the food? Everyone's getting bigger. Yeah. Steroids at the McDonald's and.
Yeah.
I think there was a forfeit that did make it to the regional at the Plymouth.
There are 2 of them. There are 2, 106 from New Haven and then there's one other one
at Penn, right? Is it 113 at Penn or something?
It might be. I'd have to look at the brackets, but last year
Congratulations to that
761 forfeits. We in 2021, which was a funky year anyway. There were 1,100 forfeits.
Think about that, like just in general. There's a forfeit advancing to the regional, and Kirchner and Cooper are not going to be at a regional.
Yes,
that's crazy, right? Like that's just mind blowing to me. I mean, obviously, different areas, different things, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, 215 for at Pendleton. So yeah,
are they even listening though, bro?
So I do have the numbers. I have not released them yet, but I do have a condensed version. We did have 1,000 in 2019 before the craziness of COVID. So we were trending up, and now we're hopefully plateauing. I don't really know if 700 some forfeits is good, but it's better than it's 400 less than what we had a couple years ago. So that's a good thing. Other than 119, it's crazy that 119 are at 106.
We probably got to pivot back to wrestling. We're getting off. We're getting all over the place. So, I thought the Crown Point sectional was decently closer than I thought. 275 to 311. Crown Point and Lowell. Hanover over 200 there also. I mean, past that, I think there's some smaller schools, but those three. I mean, not that Hanover is a big school, but a lot of good results there. I mean, obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about the Avon also, but a lot of state-ranked matchups in that one. Tyler Corals over Julian DeLuna. Julian DeLuna made it to rankings. Westfall champ. Verduzco and Strayer. Verduzco by Tech Fall, staying undefeated. Gavin Lewis. Gendris. I'm trying to think of any. LT Hawkins, Dalton Robson. A 3-0 sudden victory match. I don't know what happened to Hagedorn. I know Stevens was injured. That one was a surprise to me also for Tell City. Yep. Evan Stanley by Tech Fall in 350 over Sonny Sessa, rematch of Al Smith. Haney Newell over Dieter Gerst 1-0. I'm trying to see. I mean, we already talked about heavyweight. And then 215, the top four there. Aiden Abad over Austin Reading. Austin Reading over Jaden Bartozik, who was third. And then Mitch Krolakowski. I mean, that's just a brutal 215. He was undefeated. He came in and got 2 losses. That's for Wheeler. And then Hazlick, Simborski, Hunter Crabtree of North Newton. Also, Khalid Al-Azir, I think he got 25th. Took his first 2 losses of the season for Boone Grove. So pretty tough sectional. Feed into the LaPorte regional or sectional. So
yeah, the Crown Point.
New Prairie in there. New Prairie's pretty good.
Yeah, you had Crown Point, Lowell, Hanover Central. Then you're adding New Prairie. That's
Valpo, Chesterton. It used to be Crown Point kind of versus the world there. Like they could probably run a duel Crown Point versus everybody else. I think it's going to be a little bit closer because obviously. Lowell has some hammers, and then New Prairie has some hammers. They have some really good guys. And then Avon, some good results at Avon too. Brownsburg, pretty good at wrestling. 11 champs. Trayvon Ducking over Case Bridge. Chris Bridge, Kellen Sheff in the semis, pretty good match. 1-point match there. Bell over Eli Ogle. Was it Olgie?
Ogle.
Ogle and Riley in the semis there was pretty good. All three of those guys ranked top 10. Dickman over Gels, 10-0. That might be as close as in-state match this year. No, was like 4-2.
Yeah.
That'll be a rematch this week. Rio over Haynes.
They're not Lewis.
Zaransky over Lucas Day in the semis over there was a pretty good match. Zaransky made in the semis or into the rankings. Jake Hockaday by Fall. Obviously, Jake's pretty good at wrestling.
The Alex Tinsley, that from Ben Davis. He's been on the watch list, like the bottom. I don't know what he did, but he's been on your rankings radar for a while.
Yeah, we never clear out anyone that's on the watch list. If you're on the watch list, you're there till you graduate. Even if you're in the rankings or not. So there's some guys that have spent some time in purgatory, I guess. But
I
he's been
remember
in
that
there.
name. I never had a grade or profile for him. So hopefully he wins so I can get a profile for him. And I was like, I'm just going to wait to see if he cracks the rankings, and he never did.
Where's he at? Tinsley is a 432. Yeah, he's going to have Goss. So that'll be a tough one. It'll be a good match. Hutchinson and Lucas Day first match at regional over there.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one. And then I think there was another real tough one early on there too. Braylon Reynolds over Chef by Major. Tommy Gibb over Chase Klein. Seth Syra over Parker Reynolds again. 30-second fall. Pinned him twice this year.
Wow.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be a good, because 150, isn't there a death draw in there somewhere?
I think those guys are probably the two guys. I mean, Lincoln Cooper is pretty good. I don't think Seth Syra is going to lose to Chase Stevens this year. I think he's lost to him the last 2 years. So
it's going to be kind of hard, a little bit harder this year.
Yeah, it'll be tougher. It'll be, if that happens, then that's going to be pretty surprising. Griffin Larson over Tyler Sandusky. Corbin Aiken I think he kind of gets the short end of the stick. They go to a lot of national stuff, and I think he's one of the only Brownsburg guys not ranked. So congratulations to Corbin Aiken for winning the sectional over there. Were they quick pins? I think he kind of cut the corner and cradled them both times. One was an overtime pin, and the other one was I think this one was like kind of same thing. Got into a shot, and I think they said he cradled them up. Great. It seems like they had figured something out, and that's kind of what I was telling somebody. Sometimes they figure something out, and you can beat everybody in the state, but that guy might just have your number. You guys see him a lot. I mean, those guys see each other.
Avon and Brownsburg, teams like that see each other a lot. And the thing is, it could be, who is the Jimtown kid? That they, who is the Jimtown, the Corp, who kept losing to the same guy every week, and then ends up, someone else knocks him off, then he ends up winning state, and that didn't win sectional, regional, or semi-state.
I mean, that happens a lot. Look at, what was it? Chase Thompson for Frankfurt kept beating Jason Woodson and then gets knocked off, and then Jason Woodson gets there. Hector Mendez couldn't beat Andre Hernandez his senior year. I bet he had Andy 6 losses.
Andy Ule owned.
Dude, Andy Ule, I don't know if they ever wrestled in college, but I think Andre had 7 losses in his career, but Andy Ule was 3 of them.
I think did they? Well, Andy, answer me.
Gunnar Henry for a title, Caden Brewer over Grant Stewart by fall, and Max Forrester over Keegan Maury Shields. I bet those are some big boys. 4-2. Those are some big athletic heavyweights that move pretty good. So I think the South Putnam kid, he's been in the rankings. I think that's his second. 19-2. Kind of a sleeper. I think that people would be surprised.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, and now they feed into the Mooresville Regional.
Dude, Mooresville semi-state, that thing's brutal because now you're adding Center Grove, Monrovia. Pretty tough. I mean, overall. I mean, you're gonna have. I mean, you got a lot of Center Grove over there. Daniel Brown over Gavin Ash by Tech Fall, which is pretty surprising.
Let's see who answers me.
Thrasher, Royce Malone over David Bowman. I bet they probably had some matches in the room last year. Dominic Brown over Isaac Ash. That's a pretty good matchup right there. Isaac Ash was a semifinalist last year. Eddie Goss, Charles Hutchinson, Chuck, 10-0. I mean, that's gonna be a tough first round matchup. Hutchinson and Day.
Yeah.
Marcus Malone over Lucas Caldwell. I seen Lucas Caldwell just got his 100th win. I like that post on the board.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like seeing those other ones in there, and it's kind of neat to see some of the kids that are getting. It takes a lot to get 100 wins. So congrats to those guys. You got to be healthy for 4 years and be varsity. And some places that's hard to do.
I mean, some of those guys are getting 100 wins in 3 years. I mean, I don't know if that's that anymore. I mean, back in the day, not as much now. But Hornsby over Jewell, Breedlove, Stitz over Carter Hutchinson, Vanderloo Garen over Evan Hamlin of Martinsville. That's a pretty good final there. Vanderloo Garen by Tech Fall. Weems, he's pretty good. I bet. I didn't look at the bracket. He had a 42-second fall. I bet he had a couple pins on the day.
I bet he cradled him.
I bet he got some cradles. Noah Sutton over Braxton Lewis. Camden Williams. I actually thought Camden Williams looked really good at the Trikoff. He wrestled Jaden Barzik there. I don't think his record was really. He's a sophomore, 24-13. Beat Ben Lowe in the finals there. Dayton Mink was in there. Ezra Frederick. I think those are all guys that have been in the rankings. Camden Williams on the watch list that never made in the rankings, but was a guy I was kind of impressed with. And then Jason Guevara, Whiteland over Bryce Johnson at Decatur Central. So they're feeding into probably the toughest regional in the state. Would you agree?
I don't think anyone would disagree.
Dude, that thing's pretty nasty.
Yeah, there are state qualifiers left at home. More than I can say, there's 3 or 4 regionals that won't get as many state qualifiers that are probably going to be left at home.
Oh, dude, I totally agree. I mean, does every regional get state qualifier? I mean, we're kind of giving Logansport the business. They usually get about 6 a year. I think 6.5 is the over under for those guys.
Usually they do. There've been, I think, Jeffersonville. I think they almost got shut out a few years ago, and it was like 3 or 4 that they got through, something like that. And I think they were all like Columbus East guys. Sorry, Ratliff. But
yeah, that's good, man.
I'm sure you guys will be able to refresh our mind. But there's one that was like, it was really, they didn't get very many, and technically everyone should get 7, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Actually 14. Sorry, 14. Everyone should get 14. That should be that's the Mendoza line.
I probably should have looked at the upset post on the board. Always a great post this time of year too.
Yeah, Speedway Wrestler got a flagrant, and so 5th place finisher is already going to be at Avon. 4th place push. The spark plug got a little sparky, and he ended up getting flagranted out, and the 5th place finisher's gonna.
You just gotta keep. I mean, like I think you can be angry all year, but that's probably not the time you want to be angry, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, I take that parlay all day long. That about chin whip and a spladle. Man, the spladle's gonna be a tough one. But you do that modern day there, and they do like to hit spladles. Chin whips and headlock for sure.
Yes.
Man, Brian Alper's trying to bring that heat, boy.
just go to the Facebook post with the rankings. You can tell people's opinions on that question.
Man, how about dude, she's the highest returning medalist in the weight, and she's undefeated. And I honestly really, I feel bad. I actually asked a couple people. I feel bad about having Shutley too, because Shutley's a returning state champ that's undefeated, and I put Case Bell number 1 from the beginning. But the ranking's the ranking. I don't think you can pick whoever you want in the pick'ems. But those freshmen are really good. They're tough, but they're also freshmen, and she's gonna be strong, and she's got the experience. 2 girls placing. I think whatever semi-states, and fingers crossed, I hope it's not East Chicago that hits.
I hope it is.
Dude, it's gonna.
That'll start the day off really well.
Whoever draws Evansville at 106 is gonna be a really tough first round.
Oh yeah.
Evansville stacked at 106, and I bet they're 8 deep, right? They're probably their second row now that would beat all the champs. But I think that second row of Evansville would probably compete too. She's really good. Andy's not wrong. I think that I just thought that post went off the rails so hard. That was crazy, right? I've never seen, and that's not even a screen name. I'm gonna go behind a screen name and trash people. It was I'm gonna use my actual Facebook and go out here and throw bombs. I was dang. And then some of the other ones just had 6 comments. Like,
I know that one got pretty heated. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
and she's
hey,
good.
everyone's
She's
entitled
good.
to their opinion. I mean,
And
that's what makes America great, I guess. That we
yeah,
all can just say what
she's
we
good,
want
and so
whenever
are
we
those
want to.
freshmen. There are a lot of good freshmen, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Like you said, if it's a Friday night with Evansville, I don't like Fort Wayne's key. I don't like Fort Wayne's matchups there. I don't. I hope we get one.
Dude, hey, same, bro. I don't. If they draw East Chicago, it's going to be tough. And I'm not like trashing. Those are my guys too. Like Sam Westfall, his uncle coaches with us. Cruz Aweta, I've known Mario, the dad, forever. He was like the resource officer at Calumet for a while. He's a good dude. I've known him forever. I don't want that matchup for those guys. If those guys get through, obviously, like you never know. But dude, that's Evansville's deep. Evansville's good at 106 pounds.
Man, if Evansville and Newcastle match up, that's going to be because not only do you have those potential matchups, but you also have the potential that Ducking and Brown most likely would be opposite side, but Maddox and St. Laurent could be same side, so they could be 1 and 3. So
Yeah.
you could have a St. Laurent, Ducking, or Brown match Friday night, or Crawl.
Crawl, who's a returning state qualifier. Caleb Morrow, who's a returning state qualifier.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not throwing it in Bridge, or Bridge is going to be right in that mix too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Ash
beaten
is a returning state qualifier.
Yeah.
At 113 coming down.
The 106 pound the regional the Mooresville regional is just going to be just ugly.
Dude, the top 4 out of that's going to be nasty.
Yeah.
Like you're talking Ducking, Brown, and Brown's had his number, but Brown lost to Bridge. I'm sure Brownsburg wouldn't mind seeing Bridge beat Brown again, right? And then you go the other way, and then you have Chef and Ducking. So it's going to be tough. Yeah. And then, dude, you throw in some other guys. Jackson Jean's pretty tough out there. Tommy Wynn, Alden Walker, Carson Batchelor, Castle. Like, dude, that's a deep semi-state at 106. Like, there's some other semi-states that are struggling to find 10 like legitimate guys that think they can get the state, and that one's probably got. I bet Dustin probably could have won 14 on that.
Oh yeah,
of tough guys. Patrick Doherty or Patrick Dowdy. Both of them are pretty tough. I don't know Patrick Doherty. If he might be tough too, but Indiana Creek's got some really tough freshmen. Patrick Dowdy is really good.
Well, considering most of the forfeits at 106, I think we're in Evansville because they just said screw it. I'm going to go up to 113. maybe I'm wrong, but there seem to be a lot there. So,
yeah, it's gonna be tough. Do I think that like Ocampo could win it? Dude, I hope she does. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool Saturday night to see her under the lights to kick it off. I bet it'd be loud.
Oh yeah,
it'll get loud. Put a lot of eyeballs on the state.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, man, either way, you're gonna have to go through most likely. You might have to go to win a state title if you're not if you're not an Evansville guy. You're gonna have to go through 3 Evansville wrestlers.
Oh yeah,
there's a. I will say that the person in the finals will have to go through 3 Evansville people, maybe 4.
Dude, I just had this talk about at 138 with Evan Stanley being number 1. Like to win a title, you're gonna have to go through Reynolds and Schaefer. Like if he's gonna like be the number 1 at the end, he's gonna have to beat both of them. Probably those guys are pretty elite, right? Dude, she's already made history, man. Like across the board.
Yeah.
Like I was doing the rankings when Kayla Miracle was there, and I ranked her, and I remember we caught some smoke, and she wasn't even very high. I think she was like 17, and I think she was 14. But obviously she's an Olympian. And people were giving us a hard time then. Like I think after Ironman, we were getting a hard time about Ocampo being number 1. That we should have just automatically moved Ducking to number 1. And I said, let's give it a week. They wrestle Avon this week. And then he ended up losing. And I was like, yeah, obviously if you're a national guy and you're in the semis at Ironman, that's all you see. But, we do a pretty good job here. We're not Sports Illustrated doing state rankings.
Yeah. Yes.
Shots at them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Could we beat an attendance record? I don't know exactly what the record is.
It's like the takedown
I
record.
Hope we do. I hope we pack the place for 3 sessions and it's loud and people are excited to be there. Hopefully.
And then they come to our after show Friday night and hear us, get crazy, and we could put parents on the mic again.
Yeah. Dave, you can come on and get on the mic and talk all about Rutgers. I know it was a sad day because Bo axed them from the list.
Man.
He axed the Rizzler was there on Bo night, and the Rizzler has no.
Isn't it crazy? Like, and dude, I'm not. Dude, we get a lot of parent talk, right? And they tough talk, and they would always tell us, "Well, I'll say whatever." And then when they got that mic in their hand, it gets a lot more like PC. Like, oh yeah, we've been on some teams with them. They're pretty good, nice family. No, give me them emails, bro. Like, tell me how that came soft again.
According to the receipts I have.
Oh, dude, I keep all of them, man. I keep every message. You see my inbox?
Yes.
Dude, I keep every message, and then I always go back. I love to go back. I'm like, hey, man, great job. You were gonna pin that kid though, right? See what had happened was,
yeah,
emails, everything.
Yes.
Even the sad ones.
Even the sad, yes. Sad emails.
The NCAA Dear Wrestling message board post.
Yeah. So.
Dear, man, that's the other one. Like when you see like a ticket around match, and you're like, oh man, we're getting that like Dear NCAA, Dear Wrestling, Dear Indiana Wrestling. It's been real.
It's been real. Peace out.
Yeah.
I want to see that one. Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Yeah. Just get that kid fading.
Yeah. So,
did you really take off gifts on the board?
No.
What kind of world are we living in?
I didn't take off any gifts.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what I seen. I was just glanced. I was working hard today, man.
Did someone saying that there's no gifts?
No, I didn't. I just seen that I just glanced at it. I don't know, but I just didn't make sure we're not living in a dictatorship here.
No, everyone can still do gifts.
What?
As far as I know, unless something changed it, because I did do an update the other day. So
maybe I just read something wrong. All right.
So, any other sectionals we want to talk about? Any other upsets?
Hey man, we're taking any callers in here if you guys want to go.
Okay. Well, what we are going to rank today. Let's see if I can switch this. Oh, that looks nice.
That does. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So we are going to rank Indiana high school mascots, and they have to have a wrestling team.
Man,
and you can only name them if you can name their last state champion. I'm just kidding.
Oh man, they had to have a state champion.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, that'd be tough.
So
some of these teams barely got wrestling teams right now. Not joking.
So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go. I'll go first. I can go first.
Okay.
My number 5, near and dear to the heart. We're going Andrean, the Fighting 59ers. I don't know. I think they got 2 kids to the regional. They're the Fighting 59ers because we're at 5959 Broadway.
Nice.
So right behind Strack and Van Sil.
That's very unique. So, man, my top 4 I like, but I'm trying to figure out.
I got about 7 on this list.
Yeah, I have like 15. I'm gonna go the Northfield Norsemen.
That's a good one. I like it.
Norseman, they're men.
I'm gonna
pretty.
My number 4. I didn't tell you this one. I kept this one out the books for you. It's one that I'm always confused about all the time when I see it. Like they used to be at the semi-state a little bit more prevalent. They used to have an NCAA. I believe he was All-American or champ was their coach. the Logansport Berries.
Oh, yep.
And their mascot's Felix the cat for some reason. But I did look it up, so I had to know. In the 1920s, that's the berries was a popular expression that meant something was the best. So the expression inspired the Logansport to be the berries. Felix the cat was the first mascot in the state of Indiana for high school sports.
Interesting.
Was Pataxel an NCAA champ for them? He was a coach, Frank?
Yeah, I think usually that or an All-American. But yeah, so fake student turned mascot. At least he wasn't a mascot turned student. My number 4, the Speedway Spark Plugs.
Man, I like that one. I didn't even know they were spark plugs until I started reading it, so I couldn't put them on my list because they weren't one of my favorites. But that's an awesome name.
Yeah, they are literally in Speedway, Indiana, by the Speedway. So the spark plugs. That's Indiana has some really cool. I think Indiana has some very unique.
I forgot.
Names.
Shout out to my boy Nate Spangle and his TikTok channel. I think we're stealing some of his content right now, but that's all right.
Yeah. He'll get over it.
Some drinks. We're good.
What's your number 3?
Joseph Mendoza in the rankings, man. Congratulations on a sectional championship. Bisons. That's not my number 3, though. My number 3, the Noblesville Millers. I like to call them the Fighting Weimers, but also looked it up because I thought that was an interesting name. I thought maybe it was someone – because they used to mill flour there in the area for the Noblesville Milling Company, which offered to provide uniforms for the local high schools in exchange for adopting the Millers nickname.
Nice. See, now I'm going to have to look up my number 3.
What's your number 3?
I can't tell you.
Wait,
I want to make sure
I might have it on here. I might have the information I already got for you.
Okay, so it's not nothing in the area, but the Frankfurt hot dogs. Elijah Anthony. There we go.
Man, dude, we shout out. We get 2 Frankfurt. When's the last time we had 2 Frankfurt references in a show? Josh Burge and Elijah Anthony. Come on, man.
We'll have to go through the archives.
Man, I got a couple there. So I got 2 more. And there's 2 I really like. There's 5 I like, but there's 2. So my number 3 or my number 2 is gonna be the Jimtown Jimmies. I have no clue why they're called the Jimtown Jimmies. I just always thought that was a unique name. I actually thought someone was like lying when they told me that they're the Jimtown Jimmies. Shout out to Caleb Spires.
Caleb Spires, yes. What? There is a reason behind it. I think it's just, but and I think I may have stole your number 1.
Probably.
And my number 2 is the Hobart, or is it Hobart?
Hobart.
Brickies.
Yeah, that's my number 1, Hobart Brickies.
The Hobart Brickies.
They used to source brick out of Hobart. I'm sure Joe Hansen can give us the whole history. Johan, they have the Johan as the mascot, looks just like Coach Balish.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. No, that's just such a cool nickname and it has a good rich history. So it's not like Warriors or.
Dang, come on, why you gotta go there, man?
The Chargers. But my number 1, very biased, but is a very unique name, the Garrett Railroaders. I believe there's a website that had, I don't know exactly how many states they checked, but there's only like 15 railroader nicknames in the country, which is kind of cool. So, do you want to go over your most hated? No.
Oh, man. I kind of did know. I just feel like some of them are played out. Man, the Warriors are played out. There's a lot of Warriors. Like, there's a lot of, I think we could have did, I could have said Bulldogs. I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that they're like, oh, yeah, he probably loves the Bulldogs. I mean, everybody that's ranked number 1 is the Bulldogs, right? 6 is a Bulldog. 13 is a bulldog. 20 is a bulldog. 26 is a bulldog. 32 is a bulldog.
Yes.
38 is a red devil. So at 38 is the first non-bulldog, ranked number 1. 44 is a what are they? The Wildcats? What is Cougars? 50 is a bulldog.
Yeah.
So
the caveman, yes, that is a good that is a good nickname. I do like that. I mean, they did use Brad Harper for the statue and everything. So
here's my honorable mention list. You ready?
Yep.
So I had these. The Martinsville Artesians. I thought that's a pretty cool name. I always thought that was pretty good. The LaPorte Slicers, because it originates from the prominent meat slicing company that was located in LaPorte, Indiana in the 1800s. And the River Forest Ingots. Ingots is a thing from the steel mill. Obviously, we're pretty steel mill heavy in the industry up here. I work at a steel mill, so. But
just like the Region Rat. Do you ever see him?
I think he works in the East Chicago ones. I'm in the one out by Chesterton. I work at the one Rudy was at,
The one that Rudy was working at.
We had some guys, we had some EPA inspectors come out. I had to take them on a tour of the plant. So you're like, and they were asking, like, so what was Rudy's buddy doing whenever he got blown up? Like in the movie Rudy, what were they doing here? The Gary Wirt Troopers, man. Gary Wirt, RIP.
Yes. I had the other ones I had were the Vincent's Lincoln Alice's.
Yeah. Yep. That was a crazy one too. I saw that.
Yeah. The Highlanders was on my list, but there's actually kind of one of my things was it has to be unique just to Indiana, as in like there's no other one. So, but we do have Floyd Central Highlanders. They just haven't incorporated everything with plaid. Delphi Oracles.
See, I see it. Go make that money, man. Go to the mill. Go make that money.
And
I seen Scott's dad there too. Over in the
maybe one of the least tougher 1A schools was the mascots of the Rochester Zebras.
Yeah. Rensselaer Bombers. I looked it up too. If it had something represented in Rensselaer for the Bombers, I was going to do it. It didn't.
Yeah. Attica Red Ramblers, Plainfield Quakers.
My favorite discontinued name, the East Chicago Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Oh, that's a good one.
But they should have kept that name instead of the Cardinals. They should have been the East Chicago Rough Riders.
The Eastern Pekin Musketeers, the Columbus East Olympians. They were the first ones out on my list. I was about ready to call them, and I kind of like the other ones better. So, pretty cool nicknames, honestly. Very unique and have a lot of history behind them, especially like the Alice's and the all of them kind of have cool reasons.
Yeah, Salem Lions. There was a lot that I thought. There was even some that I didn't even know. I thought you were gonna go Carroll Superchargers. That's a pretty good one.
Nah. So that was something I added.
They were just the Chargers. They went to Superchargers.
No.
Dang, that's sad. I actually thought that was their name. That was pretty cool.
The Jimmy is a nickname for a railroad worker.
Okay. So. Anderson Highland did have some singlets that went hard. Those plaid singlets were pretty good.
Yeah. The Madison Grand Argyles.
Yeah, that's one was wild too. I didn't know that.
Is a covered gravy holder of silver or other metal containing a detachable central vessel for hot water to keep the gravy warm. These Argyles are named for the Scottish Isles of Argyll off the west coast of the mainland in Madison Grant.
Where's Bo going to go to college? I think Oklahoma State.
I say Iowa.
Man, I feel like Iowa doesn't even recruit high school kids anymore, do they? They just go straight to the portal.
This is the first one. This one's going to be the most expensive one.
Doesn't Iowa just go to the portal and get guys that don't have lungs?
Yes.
Man, Corey Teamer never wanted to get in shape, huh? He gassed when he was at Team Indiana versus that one, the one we had at can't think of it, Dream Team.
Yep.
Yeah. He gassed the other night.
Yeah.
I thought Iowa style was supposed to be in your face, good gas tanks. What happened? The satellites, South Central satellites, man, South Central.
Yes. See, the thing is, Kasich must have been training with a certain parent from Brownsburg because he put Teamer in air jail.
Dude, that's what you said, man. But dude, I was surprised how much those guys were gassing. I was disappointed they didn't send Gabe Arnold out. You can't just keep trash talking and saying how tough you are and then not show up.
Yeah. I have no clue. I just have a feeling Iowa needs a spark, and they have Bob Nichols, who likes to pay a lot of money for kids, even for 1 year. So I don't know. He's got to make some money. That's all I got. That's all I know.
How about Jesse and Sergio on Saturday?
Yeah. What, he majored him?
Major. I mean, I know they're supposed to be buddies, and they had a picture from their little kids. They look like they're kind of banging the head a little hard, huh?
They didn't want to lose to each other. They got
Jesse's pretty good.
Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. They used to be buddies, but now they're not.
You think he'll get $5 million to go to Iowa?
I wish the NIL stuff was made public. How much are they really making?
Dude, I heard some numbers. I heard some like pretty serious, like what guys were making.
Yeah, I heard
some of those Michigan kids were making like $250K. Jeez. I heard Real Woods made $250K.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Someone else just got $400K. Was it Strachey got $400K to come back?
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, those guys. Yeah, I want to see the number. I want to see the real true numbers of what they're making.
Oh, I'm pretty positive that Real Wood one's real.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm
pretty positive that that Michigan one's. I have a pretty good source on that he got $250K.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not. I want to see because you hear the numbers and you're hearing like $5 million for Bo and stuff, and that's a lot of money.
Strachey got $1 million. My brother said Strachey got $1 million.
Yeah.
Parco got paid.
Yeah. The hardest
class. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Nah.
What would be the hardest weight class this year? The hardest weight class to predict or the hardest weight class to win?
Depends on how you want to say the hardest weight class to win. Like, I'd say 132 is the hardest to win if you're not one of the top two guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can say 120. 120 is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone's claiming 5 million. I don't know. Anyway, what bracket do we want to go over? Some brackets.
Pull them up, man. Let's go.
Okay. Which one do we have? Oh, we have Mooresville. First one up.
Yeah. I think, what was his name? No, not no. What was the dude from Minnesota that went to the 33?
Nagao.
He did get some money to go hang out and just watch wrestling.
Yeah. So, oops. Can I not? How do we do this one? Put the overlay back up there. So, 106. As we said, we got Case Bridge, Luke Merchant.
How about that one out the bat? Woo!
Gavin Ash. Woo! There goes a state-ranked wrestler. First state-ranked wrestler to be first top 15. So that should be a good one. I need to fix this. This needs.
That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be real tough. That Gavin, is it Gavin? I can't really see. I think it's Gavin. Gavin Ash and Kellen Sheff will be really, really good right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the winner gets. I'm not gonna like say that Ducking's unbeatable. Maybe the Cascade kid can get him, but that'll be a tough one. That's just a tough regional overall at 106.
Yeah, you have two pretty good guys are going to be left at home. 113. Definitely need to fix these up a little bit. Thrasher, Blevins, you got Eli Ogle.
Dylan Waters, we went over the Jennings County sectional, man. You gotta get that was the first thing we talked about.
Yeah. So no big first round matchups there.
My brother just texted me, and we actually heard that straightforward too. That when Ramos beat Spencer Lee, would he get offered $500K before he even got out of the building?
Yeah,
$500K before he left the building. from a prominent college. He declined it.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good source on that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need to figure out how to get this in there. I can't move that. I can't move it. Ah.
Did you just put on the randomizer and it came up as Mooresville?
No, I already had that loaded up.
I was like, dude, that's wild.
There we go.
AI is listening to us.
Yeah. So hold on a second. Let me go back to this one and let me just bring up more. Crap.
All right,
we'll go back to that one.
I got it old school. I got it on my phone.
Okay.
113. Justice Thrasher, Sam Blanco. Sam Blanco looked really good at Team State. That'd be an interesting first round match. But Justice Thrasher obviously looked good at Team State too. 31-4, 22-13. I don't have the rankings on this one. Case Bell, Kyle Riley. I think that Mooresville sectional probably, or Avon sectional probably take a lot of those ones. 120, Revan Dickman, 17-1. Man, looking at the rankings when I was like moving them around, Bachman did work at 120 in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
He beat Dickman. He beat Lewis, and he beat Malone.
Yeah. He's taking out some Indiana guys.
Mike Skaggs, you know, if you got 500K, you'd still be going and working them doubles. Come on, stop it. Those guys stack, dude. Those hourly guys stack paper, and then they still always get them to come back. Bowman and Chase Kilgore Speedway, Gels and Malone on the bottom half. I'm just trying to go fast. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. If you're a kid that I didn't name and you're gonna pull out the upset, go ahead and throw it in the comments. I'll recognize it.
There we go.
There we go.
That's a little bit better. Let's see if I can.
Landon Haynes and Kai Beasley. Kai Beasley's had some good wins in his career. That's a tough first round matchup. Same, dude. That's what I'm thinking. 500K, 50-50. Let's go. Jack Ward, Gavin Ash, Jackson Fromm, and Nate Rio. Nate Rio's only lost to Gavin Gendris. Could possibly get Landon Haynes, Don Brown rematch in the semis over there. 32. We got a undefeated returning state champion.
Yeah, it might be his first state title. That's undefeated. No, he was undefeated his freshman year, wasn't he?
I believe so. Man, you're gonna have a tough one. Right after like that one, Lucas Day, 30-2, Tri West Jr. and Charlie Hutchinson, Chuck Cascade, 32-3. That's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, that's gonna be a real good match.
Zaransky and Zaransky 17-11. Don't let those 11 losses fool you, man. He's really tough. I think he's kind of adjusting. I think he's a little undersized, but obviously you're in that room. 120 is kind of full. 26 is pretty full. You just got to get in. Sometimes you got to cut weight to get in. Sometimes you got to gain weight to get in, right?
There we go. Yeah. So, hey, they have a tough lineup. So, yeah. Goss, Tinsley.
Is Tinsley only a sophomore?
That's what it says on the brackets.
How did I have that guy on the watch list when he was in 6th grade?
I don't know. Foreshadowing.
Let's see. Marcus Malone. Shout out to Marcus Malone getting us regional dub or sectional dub, right?
Yeah.
Guy I had ranked at 113 in the preseason. I believe he wrestled like 120 at preseason nationals.
Yeah. Now he's up to 138. Quentin
Chef Keegan Murray. Greenwood always has a bunch of guys that get a bunch of wins. Braylon Reynolds, Nate Day, Lucas Caldwell. A good one. Braylon Reynolds pretty good.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Tommy Gibbs, Peyton Hornsby, possible final there, 2-4.
That'd be pretty good. It'd be a good match.
50. Obviously, you have Breedlove will get possibly Reynolds.
Then the winner of that
Cannon.
probably. Yeah. Don't sleep on Brevin Cannon, though, man. Brevin Cannon's pretty good.
Pike always has some solid kids.
I think he has really good results from the summer too.
Yeah.
Cyrus is wrestling tough though, 29-1, only lost to Mikey Ortega. Do you think? And sometimes it's obviously Cyrus had a tough go at the semi-state. Like being a champ there is probably going to be a better path than being the runner-up. That's probably a huge final for him.
Yeah.
Probably, obviously, he wants to be a regional champ. Another good one at 57.
You got Silas Stitz, Steely Lynn.
That's a good name.
Assume there's another Steel Lynn from Mooresville that's like a state qualifier. And it's kind of lines up. I wonder if they're related. I'm assuming they were.
Man, how do you say that? Akabajija, Emmanuel Akabajija. He's pretty good also. I believe of his 4 losses, I think 3 of them are Mason Day.
It's not bad losses. Carter Hutchison, Wyatt Speth, got Mason Day, the bottom half. 65. Got a Vander Lugarten, Tyler Sandusky, Evan Hamlin, Robbie Leahy.
That'd be a tough one too. I mean, I've been on some teams where everyone's, going to semi-state, or 9 or 10 guys are going to semi-state. That you don't want to be the one guy that's not, and that's a tough one. Evan Hamlin's really good. That'd be a tough first round match.
Yeah. 75 Weems. I bet you'll see a couple cradles. There's no semi-state. He's the only ranked kid in that
overstate rated regional. I knew it.
Yep. Yeah. One ranked kid in the weight class. 90 Henry, Braxton Lewis, Cascade, Noah Sumner. It's the only 3 in that. They say it's a tough semi-regional.
Man, the announcer's going to have some names, boy. Decatur Central and they said the Decatur Central at 215 was injured. I know he had spent some time in the rankings too. Said he had to be out on like a neck brace, so hopefully he's doing better.
Yeah. 215 Brewer. Ezra
Frederick right off the bat, returning state qualifier Ezra Frederick, right?
Was he?
Let's see. I can click right on here. Let's pull it up. He was lost to the regional last year.
Okay.
So
maybe scared for a second.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. 1-8. He was a semi-state ranked guy. And heavyweight Forrester, another semi-state matchup. Man, heavyweight's getting. I guess that was Newcastle where it got pummeled on Saturday.
Yeah. Howard told me he had a perfect bracket. What was happening? Dominic Mercer. Gotta watch out, man. I think he hit Luke Juris with the one-hitter quitter headlock.
Yeah. So Bryce Johnson, Braden Love, not Brandon like you've had all year long. I don't know if that was you or Dustin.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have him I don't think I have him on the watch list.
Okay, so it's Dustin. We'll throw Dustin under the bus. Jason Guevara from Whiteland coming with that title there at Mooresville sets himself up pretty good. So what other regionals do we want to look at?
You want to look at Hobart or CP? I mean, I know those ones pretty well. You can look at
Crown Point.
Pendleton Heights. We can go Crown Point.
Let me fix this up.
I think 106, pretty straightforward there. Skaggs and Coral's probably the semis. Winner of that's going to have Westfall. Man, but you got to watch out, man. Crown Point, this is the weekend where the Crown Point sectional, the Crown Point regional scale shows up. He's been training all year to take home state ranked guys. He's got a couple heavy hitters under his belt.
Yeah. We won't talk about my suggestion for a wrestler profile.
Probably a rematch there. Verduzco and Strayer. Verduzco still undefeated at 13. 120. Lewis and Halfacre probably, I would guess. Halfacre had a really good win over Aiden Diaz a couple weeks ago. 26. That's a tough one off the bat. Hunter Mallory and Brody King. Brody King 32 and 31 and 2. I believe Hunter Mallory lost at the regional last year too.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
You got senior versus freshman or sophomore.
Cook ain't lying, man. The Crown Point scale is the Calumet scale's protege. They had to retire him. He had to hand it off. He was trained.
There's some good comments on that clip I posted.
Man, dude, that scale. I had a lot of people reach out, man. That thing was a real deal. If you ever had to step on that scale, they'll tell you that thing was about the most accurate scale in the universe. whoever got that scale balanced, game changer.
Yeah.
32, LT Hawkins, Porter Ivankovic and Dalton Robson could be a pretty good semifinal match, and then probably Robson and Hawkins again. Probably, I mean, both those guys wrestle pretty tight.
Yeah. So Evan Stanley.
Ooh, this would be a good semifinal over here. I think that's a good first round match. But yeah, Stanley in the final. Sessa Preston Hammond could be a good first round match. Hammond had a big win over Farode at Team State.
Mm-hmm.
And that Josh England and Sessa match was pretty heated at DAC.
Yeah.
They looked like they were trying to do more fist fighting than wrestling at the end. Both of them, not just a singular one. I think they just got warnings. Only warnings for that. But
yeah. Hey, it's region.
Dude, hey. There's region. That one was wild, man. And again, it's like one of those things, make sure you keep your cool. Like if you lose your cool this week, you lose your season. So but I'm guessing that semifinal is gonna be pretty good. I think that's archived on the Region Sports Network for the DAC final if anyone wants to go watch the last 30 seconds of that match.
Yep.
I think they said it's been pretty heated over the last year. I didn't know LaPorte and Crown Point was getting down like that, but those guys and dude, Sonny, I don't know England as well as I obviously know Sessa. I've known the Sessas for a long time. I don't think Sonny's much of a chirper. He's not a trash talker. He's usually a pretty quiet, nice kid. Unless that's just when I see him.
144.
Probably Luke Reed and Hyvert.
Haney versus Reed.
Yeah, that'd be a good match.
Yeah.
Jason Cook trained.
Yes. Jason
deep.
Cook taught him all he knows.
That's what I heard. I think 150 could be a pretty good weight here too. Tegan Newell coming off of a sectional championship. I think he put himself in a good spot. That first match, Grant Ullman and Dieter Gerst, be pretty tough, and then the winner of that gets Jaden Lewis.
Yeah. Carter Hall, Hanover Central, Teague Newell, Tejan. Is this what we start calling Tejan?
I don't know, man. Their knots are my head of Tejan.
Matthew Staples, you're from Van Tichel, possible. That should be a good one.
Man, this one right here, two freshmen, two pretty athletic, good freshmen here. Timmy James, 17 and 10. I mean, record's not great, but they wrestle a pretty good schedule. And Connor Haynes had a pretty good win this season. Kind of coming along, had a pretty good Connorsville. Another tough freshman for Valpo, so that should be a good first round match.
What weight is that?
That was at 57.
Oh, 57.
I'm not picking either of those guys to be in the finals. No disrespect, but I mean, MJ Staples is a pretty good freshman too.
Yes.
And then he used to go wrestling in the gym that he probably watched 100 matches in.
Yeah. Short drive.
I'm not saying that.
He's been there a few times. Andrew Schaefer, Ben Clark, a couple of semi-state ranked guys. Got Israel Sinnott from Hanover Central. White Neck, Lucas Anderson, possible at 75, 90.
Lucas Anderson, Calvin Stewart could be a good first round match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. got number 4 and 8 in the semi-state. 190, Salas Kendricks rematch. That should be a good one. It's gonna be interesting to see who comes out on top there. What let's see. Should have the rankings already. Are there any potential death draws with that?
At 190, I think those two are. I mean, now that Vinny's down, I think those two are probably the two top guys. I mean, Aiden Granger, Bryce Montgomery over at Bryce Montgomery lost to the finals to the Munster kid, but Aiden Granger, Hobart probably the favorite to win there, and then who would be the favorite? Maybe the Penn kid at 190 for out there.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no death draws potentially there. There are some at 215 though.
Yeah, there's some at 215
and heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
So you got Abad, Bartozek. That should be number 5 and 6 in the state.
Yeah, they traded losses this year. The last time Abad's only loss was a stall call in overtime, and he had a win over Bartosek, and Bartosek had a loss to Reading at the regional. So, and then as a 4, Mitchell Krolakowski. I thought he was a pretty big heavyweight. I mean, Coach Cook coached him last year. I thought he was like a 250 kid. I was shocked when I heard seen him at 215.
Look at his profile picture. He looks pretty jacked. So, so you got 4 state ranked guys there. That's going to be a tough out for them. So they all come out with the same regional. You got then one of those 4 is going to draw Everett McClelland. Yeah. One will draw Trey Dunning, and then
or Malachi Evans, yeah.
Or Malachi Evans.
And I think there's 2 kids. He's a big kid. I think he's a pretty good football player too.
Yeah.
And then I think there's 2 ranked guys coming out of Logansport too, right? Or maybe 1. I don't know if so.
Yeah, you got
Ronald. Is Ronald Jones coming out? Was it Ronald?
He was at 190.
Okay.
Ronald Jenkins.
Yeah. Yeah, so 215 is pretty tough at the Crown Point Regional.
Yeah. And then heavyweight, Hazlett and Lucas Szymborski, Khalid Al-Azir from Boone Grove. So potential death draws there. Where in the rankings?
Man, you're gonna have Declan Guard and Declan Guard and Kaufman in the regional over there. So one of them's going to be a runner-up, one's going to be a champ. I think that was a pretty close match. And then you're going to have Juris and Mashende again. Yeah. So Juris got the win this time around. I think Juris beat him for a sectional last year too, or regional last year. And then Alex Luna was a returning regional champ for McCutcheon, I believe, or it was a ticket rounder. So
yep, he was a regional champ last year. So yeah, that's going to be a real tough. I mean, if he comes out of Logansport, then there's going to be some matches, some real good matchups, and that's one that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. We'll talk a little bit about Jay County. We'll bring that one up.
I seen someone requested a Jay County shout out.
We will. Let me get that ready.
Man, I can't believe I thought for sure you were going with the Patriot. That was the champ. Good call, Zach. Good pool.
Yeah.
I thought McNutt was getting a medal last year too.
Play screen sharing. Okay, so let me fix this up a little bit. There we go. We need to.
Reed Wicker's pretty good at wrestling, 26-4.
Yeah, he's number 2 in the semi-state. He's pretty tough. I think this one's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top, team-wise. I haven't put pen to paper or anything, but you got to make sure. I mean, Delta has their hammers; they get their champs. It's gonna put a lot of pressure on the others that can, like Jay County, Belmont, Adams Central, all have chances if they wrestle well. So Griffin Byram, Cade Jackson, Nate Spears, and 11 and 12, Spears and Care. You got
That'd be a good
Max
match.
Adams, Zach Reno. So that's going to be it. 113 is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, obviously, now you're looking at the ranked matchups. You're also seeing some guys that, an Adam Central kid, a Delta kid, Jay County. Those are all going to be in the mix for a team.
Yeah. Justin McCourse, don't sleep on Yorktown, bro. They beat Delta already.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But it's going to be interesting. I'll just say I because Delta has their horses. Delta's going to get, 4 or 5 champs?
Yeah, probably.
Guys, they're going to – I don't want to say they're going to be champs, but they're favored to win.
Well, I think you're gonna have some tough ones. Like Bollinger and Levi Johns could be a good final there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got Bollinger, Levi Johns. That's a big one right there, and I'm sure those other teams are gonna be pulling for a Levi Johns upset.
Yeah. Shout out to Dakota Sprunger, snuck in the rankings late.
late.
Yeah, 31-3.
Let's see. You got right there. You got that's 126. Mosier. Another pretty good Delta kid coming in there.
Well, I think Yorktown put themselves in a good position in a lot of these weights. Just kind of looking at their draws. I mean, obviously they won the sectional, so they had to have done well. And I mean, they might have like an overwhelming, like maybe they don't have as many like horses like the top guys, but they can get a lot of guys through.
Yeah, getting those guys, win that first round matches. You can only score points if they score. Win that match. They can get some guys in the finals. This could very well be a just mass. Win that first round. Ashen Goni, Eli Loshi, Henry Ferrote. Ferrote lost to Dylan Ogg from Adam Central. So that should be a good. That's a good bracket. We don't want to talk about Carroll. Carroll will be a good team race. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wyatt Hoppus, AJ Heskett. See if there's any other good matchups to look at here. Brayson Shortgen having a good season. You're looking at, you see all the teams that we've been talking about, and they're all having some. They have some studs in their lineup. Maverick Duball, Isaiah Meyer. That could be, a little Adams County rivalry. Cody Cox, Jackson Bradley. That's a real good bracket.
Top
right
4, yeah. Not a lot of losses between those guys.
No, 0, 2, 3, and 3. Gavin Davis having a good year. Jeremiah Olem from Monroe Central wrestled 75 most of the season and dropped down late.
I haven't ever seen that guy wrestle. Obviously, I see a lot of Monroe Central, but dude, his profile too, he looks like he's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
Unless he got some good lighting in that pic, he looks like he's I thought he's a pretty big 75. He's probably huge at 65.
Yeah, that could be a good matchup for Davis, and obviously that's going to be a tough draw for someone at 65, whoever loses that match. Cave Stebbins, watch out for his lefty curveball.
Dude, I heard, upper 80s lefty, got good movement on the ball.
You played a little college ball,
You may give you a break. I haven't seen him. I can give you a breakdown. I see lefties pretty well, so.
But you're lefty or righty?
What?
You bat right or left?
Right-handed.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know. Like I think I see lefties pretty well. You see the whole way. For them to like kind of bury it in on you, they have to like really be pretty reckless. They have to come in pretty hot. But a lot of lefties get that natural cut. Dave probably has a better feel for it, but Dave probably has a better grasp on the lefty righty matchup breakdown. But like we had a couple of really good lefties that threw pretty well. One guy was drafted by the Cubs. Threw in the mid 90s, and then another kid was like low 90s, and he had ridiculous movement, and dude, he would smoke like a pack of cigarettes and drink 2 Red Bulls before every game. movement on the ball was unreal.
Hey, just throwing a baseball, you don't need to have any lungs.
Yeah, so we had a guy. He had just came. We were playing like a summer league. He had just came from like pro ball. And he said he pulled up and he's like, sees this dude hammering two like tall Red Bulls, smoking some Newports, and he's like, "Where am I at?" Welcome to the Bush Leagues. Yeah, so Caleb Stebbins. I mean, I don't know, like the baseball and wrestling's not always the combined sports. I mean, especially you're getting some wear and tear on them shoulders.
Yeah,
sounds like he's a pretty good baseball player. I don't know how many looks he's getting for wrestling or baseball, but if you're getting them baseball looks, man, like don't let him punch that shoulder over.
I know that's that can. Wrestling is not the best thing for shoulders. I can say that much.
No.
190, AJ Myers, Xavier Palacios.
Xavier Palacios having a really good year too.
Yeah, he's quietly had a real good year.
I believe his only 2 losses were at Al Smith, correct?
Yeah.
AJ Meyer, always a guy. I feel like he's been in the rankings forever. I know he's dealt with some injuries. He's pretty good. So if he can get on a roll, he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah. 215. You got only Luke Powers from Westdell.
Dude, Luke Powers is a good name. We got to get him down state. I want to hear that on the mic.
Yes. Then heavyweight, Alan Ortiz, number 8. Got beat by Grady Baker. Grady Baker turned on lately.
So Alan Ortiz beat the Caleb Evans last year, right?
Yep, at semi-state, I believe.
So
what kind of death draws are we looking at in Fort Wayne?
I'll be right back. I'll be listening. Hold on.
Let me pull those rankings up. What death draws are we looking at in the Wayne? Replace Fort Wayne final. There we go. So 106, Ocampo, heavy favorite, Wicker, Warner. His bad draw is going to be running into Wicker. So you got 1 in 3 chance. Raypole, obviously the same thing in the same regional. And Jackson Webb, also at the Jay County Regional. A lot of guys in the Carroll. That's going to be that kind of death draw. Swarthwood, Moore, Kate Jackson are all in the different regionals. Number 4, McVicker has a real good win over Brady Harper. He will have Moore. Him and Moore will wrestle in the. So the loser of that could possibly 2 and 3 chance of wrestling Swarthwood or Jackson. 120. The Bollinger Johns loser could run into McIntyre, Timmy Rocha. So 126. Some of the possible death draws, correct? Harris and their separate regionals. Hickson Love. That's a good name.
Hickson Love, sleeper pick for AJ Bradley.
Yeah. So Hickson Love in correctional.
How do we got Hickson Love a picture?
I mean, it looks pretty good in that picture.
How he looks?
The Marion Giant. I don't know. That's another good name. Dakota Sprunger. So fairly well spread out there. Fort Wayne usually has a little bit more bunching of guys. Heavyweight, there's been a big
Drew
bunch.
Walden coming back and getting a sectional championship.
Yeah, he's wrestling well. That's kind of scary. You got Douglas, Walden, and Mosier all separate regionals, and then
how about East Chicago sneaking one into the rankings, boy? He ended up losing in the sectional championship, but shout out to EC bringing it back. Cardinals.
Goni Carter Kraus is number 3.
Carter Kraus taking his first loss of the year.
Yeah, Malachi Fullner is really good. So that Henry Farrote. So you got 3 guys in the top 4, all in the same regional. Malachi Tholner, he's pretty good. That should be a good sectional or regional with Kokendorfer, Farrote, and Kraus.
I'm sure. Brian Kokendorfer and Kraus wrestled at Al Smith last year. I think he was like injury default, right?
Yep, and regional.
And regional was an injury default too.
No, regional was Kraus won that one.
Okay. Kraus won the other one too by injury default.
Yeah. So 144, Hopus and Haywood, Kendi Coy, all separate regionals. So that's good. Always good when you see the top 3 guys are all on separate regionals.
Yeah, we don't like to do that over here.
We have a couple. We got Doster and Lincoln Carter. That's going to be a good sectional matchup or regional matchup. Both undefeated. Brayson Shortgen, Eli Gall. So the Carter Doster loser is going to run into someone like Shortgen, Gall, or Trigg, Drew Trigg. So pretty tough draw there for anyone that gets him. Bradley, Hagwood, Duval, Meyer, Denman. So
it's pretty good.
Likely going to run into someone pretty good, Cody Cox. So yeah, he'll have whoever gets that top 4 at Jay County is going to be tough, and one of them is going to have to draw into Hagwood.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. Davis, Olam, Riley Biddle, real good at football and wrestling.
Oh, we got a double up on there?
Yeah.
I like that.
Chance McClellan, Ethan Fike.
Chance McCullough's out, right?
Yes, I believe so. Or no, he won. He won sectional.
Who was out? No, it's the next guy, 215, right? Kerry and
Plattner. Who is it? Oh, we don't have him in the rankings. Stebbins, Thrash, Plattner. So no crazy death draws there. Farnell, Palacios, different regionals. RJ Trevino could run into Palacios. Colin Price.
Colin Price is the one that.
Yeah. So and then you got Brecken Moran, Austin Parks, Anthony O'Neill. I better check, make sure he made it through. He might not have. So not very top heavy there. 215, Hankey, Ringelheisen, Hartley Hoover, who's had a real good season. His only loss is to Ringeisen and beat him at sectional. So
it's a good picture for Hartley Hoover too.
Yeah. Whoever loses that could possibly run into Hankey.
All 3 of those guys come out of the same regional.
Yeah. Boston Caudell, Derek Morrison. He had a real good Al Smith.
Really good. Made it to the finals.
Yeah. And then
didn't put his name on his finalist sheet.
So Brady Long's had a sneaky good season this year. Derek Morrison. So those guys are all bunched up in 2 regionals, and then Coolman, Evans, Hillman, Conley, lurking right there. Brody Streeter, Baker, Lothamer. Lothamer's going to wrestle Coolman in the first round, and then you got McGrant. So that's a pretty tough. A lot of the guys better guys on the road didn't won. Conley's gonna have a tough draw no matter what. And he's been I think he's been in the ticket around 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Only losses to Cameron Hazlett, Kip.
Yeah. So that's Fort Wayne. So yeah, should be some good wrestling this week.
Yeah.
We'll be, as soon as we get the draws, we will post them.
I think we got to do like one each, or Newcastle one, right? We did Fort Wayne.
You want to go over the rankings, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do all the rankings on that one, because I think we got to show some love to the Newcastle.
Okay, we'll show some love to Newcastle. Let's see. Someone reacted to that post. Okay. This one's 106 pretty well separated. Maddox, Laurent, St. Laurent, Morrow and Heather Crawl, all separate regionals. So
Yeah.
they got together and did well. Obviously, Colin Clark, Lucas Scott, Bryson Kirk. That'll be tough outs, but top four. When you see top four, and that's a pretty solid top four, man. If they match up with Evansville, that's gonna be just nuts on Friday night.
Yeah, we should petition that doesn't happen, but that's the draw.
So Shutley, Reyes, different regionals, Lincoln Parsons.
And Shutley in the same regional?
Yep, Parsons, Shutley, Keegan Dressler. So Reyes will have a tough way. Seth Lamb has quite a few significant matches.
Man, I thought Braden had wrestled really well at Al Smith.
Yeah, and that he's a sneaky good one. That's going to be lurking in there. 120 Getz, Temples, Sully Frazier, Temples and Frazier. I think they've wrestled quite a bit. So Frazier will get, loser there could run into Getz. Ezra Fry.
Ezra Fry's had a really good career, man. He had a nice win over Alex Johns, a couple losses to Timmy Roca, but man, I bet he's been a semi-state all 4 years, I believe.
Yep. Bismeyer wrestled this week, so good to see him back.
That guy shouldn't say that.
No, he should not. And he will get blocked. See, I can block people from this too now. That's what I like. So, 126.
I mean, I don't even know if that comment makes sense, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what that's about.
No, I'm just saying in general, like,
yeah,
like what? I mean, I don't know.
So, luckily it's not on the screen.
Yeah. He's probably a tough guy, right?
Yeah. Chase Yan, number 1. Eli Brody. Supposedly I upset his mother, I guess. That's what the rumor is on the street, that because he didn't have a ranking on the brackets. So I've upset his mother. So I'm sorry to his mother.
It's all right.
For having a wrong link of Eli and Elijah. So yeah, my apologies.
There's bigger tragedies in the world.
Yes. Braden Volts, real tough wrestler.
That should be a real good regional championship match, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, him and he's coming out of regional, him and Baylor. Yes. And so then whoever loses that has a pretty decent chance of running into Yant or Brody.
Don't sleep on Gavin Kemp, man. Gavin Kemp out here tossing people.
Yeah, he's taking heads. He doesn't care.
Real tough freshman.
Yeah. 32, Thrine, Bowie, different regionals. Colin Troyer, obviously going to have a tough one with Thrine. Colin Crowley, he's going out of Pendleton Heights, and Jack Richardson had some solid wins. Man, he has a lot of matches.
Yeah, he does.
It's nice seeing these matches when you look at those and you see all the significant matches, and you're like, okay, helps with the rankings. Gunnar Butt, Jack Davis.
I think we're not sleeping on Cesar Salas. I mean, he's top 4 freshman, and the number 1 guy teched him. But I mean, I don't even know if we have 189 as a weight class anymore.
Yeah,
190.
If we're sleeping on the guy that's ranked number 4 in the state, that's
I think anybody in the top 5 can win it.
Yeah. But Jack Davis and Terry Easley, Anthony Quarles. So 3 of those guys are all in the same regional.
Terry Easley, that was my sleeper pick, guy outside the rankings that can make some noise.
He's had some good wins. He's tough.
He is tough.
Doss, Moses Stevenson.
Got his first loss, Bryce Doss.
Yeah. Stevenson got him. They'll probably match up again this week. Chris Kasser, Sam Bustamante. So that should be fairly well separated there. Foster.
I'm just messing with you, Michael Guzman. Nah, he's good, bro. He's real good.
Foster, Jesse Franklin. Same regional, Hank Fennessy, Tyler Lavin, Aaron Durham. There's another. That Prairie Meridian regional's pretty loaded top to bottom. Arbery, Jacob Weaver, Caleb Wilburn. So everyone's separated there. No crazy death draws. Michael Major, Michael Kane, Michael Thompson, Mason Thompson. So the top guys are all separated. You got Dozier, who's pretty tough.
Tri-state qualifier.
Yeah. So you got him. I mean, he could be lurking right there. Jericho Jackson, Jacob Cole, 175, Kressel, Xavier Smith.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, both are really good. MJ Morton, some guys with some national level credentials sitting in right there. Anything 190, Michael White, Kyle Harden, Chris Quarles, all separate regionals, and then Perry Meridian. Let's see. Yep. White and Godwise should be a good one. Weaver, Wetzel, Julian Burgett. Burgett got tacked by Weaver.
Weaver's pretty good, man. He's he might be the real deal.
Yes. Yeah. I going back and forth with someone yesterday. He's like, man, what he has done the past couple of years, just this trajectory is just crazy. And just going from a state qualifier to just absolutely dominant state champ. So that's pretty impressive for Weaver. And he keeps getting better and better and just dismantling guys. Julian Burgett's no slouch. And
not at all.
Just dismantled him. That's crazy. Cayenne, McLaughlin, North Montgomery. So North Montgomery is going to be pretty loaded there. Not really the regional you want to run into. You got Evan Law. 4 of the top 5 are in that regional. So that's definitely a bad draw for. I mean, Wetzel's going to have a tough draw. Obviously, he has a state medal, so still going to be tough. Job Maverick. If we go one of the better names, that's one of the better names. He looks like he's pretty big.
Yeah, I was sad to see him having to pull out of Al Smith. I think he was sick at that tournament.
Yeah.
Zach Blevins looks like he's pretty big too.
Yeah. Blevins, Glessing. So Glessing and Blevins will be the same regional. Jackson Apple. So Max Amberger, returning state qualifier. So you got a lot of pretty solid heavyweights. Logan Knurk. The rankings got kind of hit hard a little bit towards the bottom there. So
yeah.
So it should be nothing too crazy there as far as death draws. There's a couple potential bad ones, but it seems that I guess there's not quite as many potential ones this year. Maybe last year we just knew a few the top 4 guys would be hitting.
Yeah, I think there's always. I mean, and there's some that we have wishful thinking on. I think we're like, oh man, like we hope that doesn't happen. Then we speak it into existence, and then it does happen, and then we're sad.
Yes. So next week, yes, Maverick was at CMA last year.
Yeah, he was actually in the semi-state rankings at one point under Westfield from CMA. Thanks a lot, Terry.
Yes, he's gonna get you a good and plenty, or what
a bit of honey. A bit of honey. Wrapper out of his pocket. It's gross.
He's gonna get you some bit of honeys, and everything will be smoothed over. A little bit of pocket lint added on that. Man, that makes those bit of honey so good.
Dude, I heard that Westfield is actually the bit of honey capital of the world. It's weird, man. This new format has a lot of wild comments.
Yes. Do we?
Looks like the dude trying to ask me about his Uber Eats. Dude, that was Lori Gendris's food, man. Remember what we were? I was like, I think that's Gendris's mom. I asked her about it. She said I couldn't find her. I said, yeah, he showed me a phone and it was in Arabic. I couldn't read it.
And you said just go back that way.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, you gotta go down there, bro. And he showed me. I was like, I can't read that. I don't know what you're doing. I feel like a jerk, kind of. The way I like kind of brushed it, I was like, I can't read that. Get away from me.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do if it's in a different language?
I've only read Sanskrit a couple times. Let me actually get to this.
Yes.
I'm an amateur linguist, so let me. I can barely speak English, bro. You see the way I rate this stuff.
Yeah. Trust me. He can barely type and speak the English
Man, I
language.
put a lot of like capital letters in sentences and periods where they don't belong. So
yeah. Let me see if I need to get into. I don't even know how to get into the. I don't do this. Oh boy, we're getting some good ones.
It's getting late,
We're getting
man.
some good messages.
I heard the freaks come out at night.
Yes. Yeah, it's 11:25, and I don't know where these people are from, but we're getting some good ones here. Let's see. Where do I? See, I don't do this very often. Professional dashboard. Where's our live? I can go into that. So let's see. From block. There we go. We'll get these people out of here. So next week we don't know what our plan will be yet. It will be probably something fun. We'll go over each semi-state.
Man, did you just get that message from? They said that Hayden Smith was injured this past week in an accident, and he was hurt pretty badly. So prayers go out to him. Hopefully, they said he has to pull out of the tournament too. That's a really tough one. Returning state medalist. So it's tough to hear that.
Oh, geez, that's horrible. Yeah, I just saw that. That sucks.
It sounds like he's gonna make a full recovery, which is the most important thing. But
yeah.
So hopefully, prayers go out to Hayden Smith of Heritage Hills.
Yeah, definitely. That sucks. I mean, they had a pretty good backup heavyweight too.
Yeah.
That didn't get in the lineup as a senior. So
number 4, number 1 at 165. Where we have this? Johansson. Let's see at the Hobart Regional. I'm gonna pull it up right now. We're gonna discuss it.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah, sorry. That was my.
In the finals. I was looking at first round. Oh yeah, Costello Pilat would be a really good match. And then I think the loser of that. I don't know. 57 is not as bad of a 65 is not as bad a death draw as 57. Like the loser of Staples and Vanticho could hit back at East Chicago, which would be pretty tough.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough draw there.
Not ideal.
No. So next week we will probably look to do. I wonder if I can do this and do that. Nope, that one still stayed up there. We're probably gonna look to do some. We'll do at least 2 episodes, if not 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
The marathon episodes where we'll talk over the brackets. I think I did like the restream.
I did. It was good.
I think the brackets looked pretty good and is easy to switch between them.
I'm gonna take my ADD medicine and I'll lock in.
Yes.
Try to at least.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be some good stuff. And man, we only have like 2 weeks left of the season. So I know I got to look for a place to have a show on Friday night, and go about an hour on there, then socialize and stuff like that. So
man, I socialize during the show, my friends.
Yeah. If you're the one getting guests, and then we're talking about them, and I think that'll be pretty fun because we'll be able to like just know what's going on, talk about everything that went down and all the craziness and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be getting down Thursday night, so we'll be a little more better rested and hanging out. And I don't think we're gonna do one Thursday night that week, but so anything else before we get off of here?
No, I don't have anything, man. Congratulations to everyone that advanced for the regional, all our sectional champs. If you're upset with your rankings, this is the time to prove it wrong, right?
Yep.
If you didn't like where you were ranked all season, and you thought that you were being slept on, or they were being disrespected, here's the time to prove your spots, man. Win your regional, get yourself in a good position to advance out of the semi-state and go make some noise.
Yep. So should be some great weekend of wrestling. So keep us. We're gonna be watching, and we'll get you guys brackets as soon as we can get them, and then we'll get to talk about them. So good luck, everyone, and we'll see you guys next week.